בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח, והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. Just to say a special welcome to Tzipora. Thank you for joining us today. The subject of the shiur today is the incense. It used to be the korban that they used to bring on Bet HaMikdash. And we say it every morning. And how we understand what's hiding behind that korban. So today, Be'ezrat Hashem, we're going to explain what does it mean, the spices, the korban that called the spices. In Hebrew, we call it korban הקטורת, פיטום הקטורת, people call it. We'll go through it. So first of all, that's the subject of the show. Before I start, any question? Anyone know about the הקטורת a bit? No one. Okay. Where is the source for it? The source for...
Sorry, there's a question I do have. All these goyim, the
Please
Buddhists
talk loud. Take the art scroll, Philip. Take art scroll, page number 35.
all the various Indian religions, they all got ketoris. Where does that come from by them?
From us.
Huh?
You'll see now. Everything from us.
Everything from us, yeah. Okay.
You know, HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us the day that called the Shabbat. Why it's called Shabbat? Milshon Shvita. No more work. To strike of work. So the Christian took the Sunday. Pashut, nachon? The Muslim took the Friday. How does it work? Because if Sabbath is a day that you strike of work, how come that you're allowed to carry on working? They contradict themselves. So בעזרת השם נעשה ונצליח והשם עלינו ברחמיו ירוויח. The subject of the shiur today is the korban הקטורת, the spices. Where is the source for it? The source for it comes from Sefer Humash Shmot, Sefer Shmot. In Parashat Ki Tisa, in chapter 30, verse 34, there HaKadosh Baruch Hu command Moshe Rabbeinu to create the spices, the 11 spices. And what they are. Now, if you look carefully at the article, you can see. So the 11 spices are, and we're going to count them together. There's 11 of them: Hatziri, Hatziporen, Ahel Bena. No, 11. Look there. Look, read. It says 11 spices.
13.
There's only 11. Ve'ahad asar samemanim hayu ba. It said it. 11 spices was there. And they are the tziri, the tziporen, Ahel Bena, Halvona, okay? Mor, Ktsi'a, Shibolet Nered. I'm not saying all the amount, all the quantity. V'charkum, Ukoshet, Kilufa, Ukinamon. That's the 11 spices that they used to make the korban. What's happened? In a time that Bet HaMikdash was exist, and before that in a Mishkan, HaKadosh Baruch Hu command Moshe Rabbeinu to make a korban that called the spices. Why dafka the spices? By the way, just to give you a bit of history about that korban used to be sacrificed every morning, once in the morning, and one in the afternoon. Except that it used to be sacrificed also in Yom Kippurim, and that used to be sacrificed in Yom Kippurim in the Holy of Holiness by the Kohen Gadol. During the day, every day, the korban used to be sacrificed every time by different Kohen, by doing a lottery. And we'll explain why. We'll get to it. We'll get to it just now. Yes, Paul.
But Rabbi, if you look at page 37, I always count them, and it's Kashina lime plus Cyprus wine. And if you don't have Cyprus wine, you can use old wine.
No. It's not a spice. Look at the 11. Look, it's tell you on page 37, there is wine. Can you see? 1, 2. Look at them.
Yeah, I see there's 11.
There is 11 spices in page 37.
I thought the extras was...
No, there is exactly 11.
Yeah,
Because the korban of the Ketoret, if it's done one less or one more,
But it only
it's
applies to
unvalid.
those 11.
Sorry?
It only applies to those
Only
11, not to
those
6.
11, exactly, exactly. That's what I'm talking in page 37, look at it in English. Ronald, to follow us, I need to give you the art scroll. The art scroll, page 37 or 35. You'll follow it, if you don't mind. Sorry about that. So if you count them, you see that there is 11 spices. So we explained that in a time that that the Bet HaMikdash was exist, or in a Mishkan, HaKadosh Baruch Hu commanded Moshe Rabbeinu to create a korban that's called a spice. What was so special about it? Why it was so special? So the Gemara in Masechet Yoma tell us what's the remedy behind it. Gemara Yoma, page 26, folio 1, the Gemara say that the Kohen, we're talking about Kohen Idiot. What does it mean, Kohen Idiot? A normal Kohen that serves in Bet HaMikdash, not Kohen Gadol. There is a difference. Okay? Kohen Gadol, everyone know what is it, the highest priest. Kohen Idiot, it's the average Kohen that used to serve in Bet HaMikdash. The Gemara say like this, that a Kohen that used to sacrifice the incense in Bet HaMikdash, once in the morning, once at night, he become a rich person. That there is a remedy for richness. And a matter of fact, Hazal tell us there that they used to make a lottery amongst the Kohanim, and each Kohen pick up, and whoever merit to do the korban, he's doing it. Why? Because there's a remedy to it that the Kohen become rich. From the Braita of that Gemara, we learn that they used to do it twice a day. That the same Kohen can never sacrifice two Ketoret. That means that if the Kohen win the lottery in the morning, he's out. He can't do any more lottery. The rest of the Kohanim come, and they do a lottery, and he do the korban of the spices. Why? To give another Kohen a chance to merit from that korban, to become rich.
Next day.
Except, wait, I'll get to it. Now we're speaking about Bet HaMikdash. V'chabiki. In Yom Kippur, only the Kohen Gadol that used to serve, he used to do the korban. You understand what I'm saying? Why? Because the korban used to be sacrificed where? In the Holy of Holiness. In the Holy of Holiness, a Kohen Gadol allowed to enter only once a year in Yom Kippurim. Other than that, all year, the Holy of Holiness, no Kohen allowed to walk. The Kohen that enter Kodesh HaKodashim, Rabotai, have to focus for 24/7 on what he's doing in Bet HaMikdash. If for one split of a second he think about something else, he's dead. We don't understand that. That's what they used to prepare him. The Gemara in Masechet Yoma explained that they used to take the Kohen Gadol in advance. They used to sit with the Rabbonim, they used to prepare him for his job. It wasn't a simple thing to become Kohen Gadol. During the second temple, people they wanted to buy the Kehuna. They wanted the honor, so they pay money to become Kohen Gadol. They never been chosen. And Hazal tell us that, a matter of fact, that over 300 or close to 500 Kohanim die every Yom Kippur. Why? Because they never been nominated. They bought the Kehuna. That means they paid to become Kohen Gadol, and they couldn't focus. And there wasn't such a holy guys, and they died. So now we understand what's happening with the Ketoret. Let's move on. The Gemara in Masechet Yerushalmi explained that not only the person that used to sacrifice, when I say a person, is the Kohen, that used to sacrifice the korban of the spices used to get rich, even that Kohen that used to carry the pan with the hot charcoal used to get rich. So we see the merit. And I'll tell you why I'm speaking about richness, because we get to stages. In a Gemara in Masechet Yoma, in page 39, folio 2, Hazal tell us something extraordinary. That when they used to bring the korban of the Ketoret in Jerusalem, because Beit HaMikdash was in Jerusalem, the smell used to reach to Jericho. And the goat in Jericho used to sneeze from that smell. Not only that, listen to that, Hazal say that a bride that used to get married in Jerusalem never have to put perfume. Why? Because the smell, the woman here smiling, the smell of the Kirban HaKetoret was so strong that was waste of time to put perfume. It was such a nice smell all over Jerusalem from the Kirban HaKetoret. So that's when Beit HaMikdash was exist. What's happening today that we don't have Beit HaMikdash? What are we doing with that Ketoret? So Hazal tell us about all the korbanot, not only specifically about that. Uneshalma parim sefatenu. What it means, Uneshalma parim sefatenu? Today that we can't sacrifice because we have no Beit HaMikdash, we're not allowed to bring korbanot, we're not allowed to build the altar, Mizbeach, we're obligated to say it. And the person that say it, it's considered like he sacrificed the korban that he said. In this case that we're talking, it's korban of the incense. The spices, פיטום הקטורת, korban הקטורת. Now we're going to get to the virtue of people that saying that korban every morning. Okay? We saying it. Yes, Stephen. You asking when the Mashiach come, everything going to come back for sure. You remember you asked me that the Leviim going to become Kohanim. So prepare yourself. You're Levi. Okay. So let's understand. So we explained today that we can't sacrifice. We have to say the korban. That's kind of a korban. What is the virtue behind it? What is the ma'ala, the level that we can receive? Not only that, what is the element or the remedy by saying that korbanot we're receiving? So today we're focusing especially about the פיטום הקטורת. Hazal tell us in the Gemara Masechet Shabbat, in the end of page 88, folio 2, and the beginning of 89, folio 1. Hazal tell us like this, that Moshe Rabbeinu, when he gone up to heaven to bring the Holy Torah, the angel didn't want him to bring the Torah down. And they said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ma leyelud isha benenu. How come that a human being come up to heaven to take the Torah? The Torah, the Tatka'at Dorot, that's mean 974 generation you used to play with it. That means you used to study it, you used to enjoying it. Now a human being coming to bring it down to earth? Moshe Rabbeinu was frightened. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu, Ehoz bekis'i, hold my chair of glory and give a tshuva to those angels. Because Moshe was worried that those angels can burn them. Moshe Rabbeinu said to them like this. Moshe Rabbeinu said to the angels, tell me, did you be enslaved in Egypt? Did you have Yetzer Hara? They didn't have an answer. So they agreed that Rabbeinu will bring the Holy Torah down to us. The Gemara say that each one of the angel given Moshe Rabbeinu present. When we say present, not physical, obviously. You understand? Each one given him a different remedy. But I'm going to focus on one remedy. The angel of death. Simon, you look worried. Don't worry. The angel of death given a present to Moshe Rabbeinu. You know what he said to him? I'm going to tell you the secret how to get rid of the angel of death. By saying קורבן הקטורת. רבותיי, did you understand what I'm saying? No. You didn't understand. Huh?
They call it the elixir of life.
The elixir of life. He given him the remedy. Listen to me, Shimon. How to get rid of the Satan, the angel of death. I brought a special one. That's called Korban HaKetoret. In Ktav Ashuri. Ktav Ashuri is the same letter that you write in a Sefer Torah. And I will explain to you later, what is it? You can pass it around, later on you'll see. What's happening? The angel of death said to Moshe Rabbeinu, I'm giving you a present, and I'm telling you a secret. Wherever there is tragedy, wherever there is a plague, wherever there is a danger, wherever there is problem, if you will say Korban HaKetoret, the incense, say it li, with focus, with kavana, and understand every word, I guarantee you that the angel of death can't touch you. Rabbi, did you understand what I said? That means that you get a guarantee that the angel of death can't come next to you. If you say פיטום הקטורת twice a day, he can't come near you.
For how long?
For that day?
You could live forever. What does that mean?
What's mean? You can't say it forever. I'll tell you why. Because sometimes people have a headache. David HaMelech was studying Torah. David HaMelech born and down the same. David HaMelech down Shavuot. In Shabbat of Shavuot. What happened to David HaMelech? David HaMelech was studying Torah. And the Midrash tells us, you know what's happened? How has he died? The angel of death couldn't touch him because he studied Torah. What's happened? He make noise outside. David HaMelech stopped for a second. You stop for a second from studying Torah, that's it. But if you have the energy, you have the power, every morning, focus on page number 35 in the art scroll. We have an extra siddur for Glenda. Please, you have art scroll there? Glenda, open page, art scroll 35. Rabotai, we learn from here, from the Gemara Masechet Shabbat, page 84, folio 2. Remember, Shabbat 82, folio 2, 89, folio 1. Just the last line of Gemara Masechet Shabbat and the beginning of page 89, folio 1, you read it there that the angel given Moshe Rabbeinu all different presents. What was the present that the angel of death given Moshe Rabbeinu? To say Korban HaKetoret. Now, I would like to go to the Zohar, and I would like to go through different commentaries of Gdolei Israel, our sages. What are they saying? What is the merit that the person that say Korban HaKetoret benefit from? Before I start, any question?
There's one thing, it's page 37.
Now we page 37. Sorry, Glenda, we moved one page. Thank you. So we spoke about the 11 spices. Now, the one that you have there is not include the Braita. There is the Braita. The Braita is the long version. Okay? If you say the full Ketoret with the Braita, I'll pass it later on, it's in Hebrew, you can see it. It's a remedy to all what I'm saying now. It's an emelant to get rid of all the chores that the person have in his life. Let's start. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai say in a Zohar in Parashat Vayakhel, he say like this, if people know the value of Parashat HaKetoret, that means if they understand what they can benefit from saying Parashat HaKetoret, they would take every word on that Parsha and they'll make a crown to themselves. What does it mean? That means for met, you can make a crown for a human being. In a Zohar Hadash, what is a Zohar Hadash? Zohar Hadash, it's been revealed later on that they found out the second part of the Zohar that was missing. By the way, you know how the Zohar been found out? No one know? I'll tell you. The Zohar been found out in a Galileite. It was a shepherd, a Muslim shepherd, that he gone to a cave and he used to sell all different kind of what you call it, like kitniot. How you say kitniot? Kitniot. Kitniot. There is a different name to kitniot? Legume. So he used to sell different legumes. And he found out that in one of the caves, he found a lot of scrolls. Because when Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai wrote the Zohar, he wrote it on scroll. So what he used to do, he used to take the scroll, turn it around, used to put inside all the kitniot, and he used to sell it to people. Like packets, exactly. When I was a little boy, I remember that very well. My dad used to take a newspaper, and he used to make for us hot chips. And he used to take the newspaper, make it around like a cone, and he used to put the chips inside, and we used to sit, and that was our, what you call it today, our ice cream in olden days. I'm talking to you close to over 50 years ago. Anyway, and that's how we used to sell them. Until one day, a person found out, and he see that it's all written in Aramaic. Some part in Hebrew. Couldn't understand. He took it to his rabbi. And the rabbi said, "Tell me, where did you get it?" He said, "I got it from that person that sold the kitniyot, the Muslim guy." What? Take me to him immediately. Immediately they gone to him. That Muslim think that now they're going to accuse him of murder. He said, "Listen, I didn't steal." He said, I just wanted to know, where did you find those scrolls? He said, "I didn't ask you if you steal it. I just want to know, where did you find it?" So he took them to the cave, and he showed them that in the cave there's plenty scrolls. And that's how they reveal the Zohar. And then our sages sit on it, put it together and adding up. If you look, there's many parts of the Zohar missing, and it's called a Zohar HaSer. But the new Zohar, it's an addition that they found later on, more scroll, and they added up. So in the Zohar Hadash it says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu have a decree. Listen to that, what he said. That the person that's saying the Korban HaKatoret, any kind of witchcrafting, or any kind of demon, or any kind of bad thought, a person that said that Korban, nothing can happen to him. That's mean by saying the incense, that's a protection. You have a bodyguard all day, a guarantee from the Zohar. Rabbi Chaim Palaji. Rabbi Chaim Palaji, born around 231 years ago in the city of Izmir in Turkey. He was a great Kabbalistic, great rabbi. He wrote in his book, Ruach Haim, the wind of Haim, because his name was Haim, he wrote Ruach Haim. In chapter 132, Halacha 4, listen what he said. A person that read, listen to me carefully, the Ketoret Asamim, B'Ktav Ashuri, Ktav Ashuri like I showed you, it's the Ktav of the Torah. He given him his guarantee, okay, that he will be rich, his business will be success, and he'll never see poverty. Who doesn't want it? I want to see one putting his hand up, doesn't want to become wealthy.
Excuse me, Rabbi, when were those scrolls written? How far back in history?
Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai lived during the end of the second temple, towards the second temple, work it out. in the time of Rabbi Akiva, work it out, it's plus minus close to almost 2,000 years ago, a little bit less. That's the Zohar, the Holy Zohar. But the incense, that's HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to Moshe Rabbeinu, that's from the Torah. That's in the written Torah. That's when we receive the Torah on Mount Sinai. The Midrash HaNe'elam, okay, he said that the person that read with kavana the Ketoret, all bad decree that there is on him, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will cancel. Change all the decree. But you have to say it with kavana, to understand word by word. In Sefer Yeshurot Israel, the salvation of the Jewish people, he said like this, a person that say it with kavana, I guarantee him salvation and success. Who doesn't want here salvation? Who doesn't want here success? Arav Moshe Steinbuch. Oh, Stephen, wake up. You like Rav Moshe Steinbuch. I tell you, I have the privilege to see Rabbi Steinbuch close to 15 years ago. I needed to go for a case for Din Torah, but that happened here in town, and they asked me to go. And I tell you, to see Rabbi Moshe Steinbuch, it was a great zchut for me. But your boy, when he shouted. I remember the second day that I needed to meet him, he took us to his shul. And you know, me as a Sfaradi, to go to the Bet Knesset Agra, everyone look at me, what is a Sfaradi doing here? But Rabbi Moshe Steinbuch pushed me first in. He just pushed me, literally, me and the other guy pushed us in. And the guy looked at us. When Rabbi Moshe Steinbuch walked behind us, after a split of a second, you see everyone put his head down. So Rabbi Moshe Steinbuch wrote a book that's called Tshuvot Ve'anhagot. In Helek Aleph, the first portion of the book, he said like this, that the person that say פיטום הקטורת, the spices, בכוונה, and not only that, that he say it with the nigun, it's a remedy that if he can't have kids, he'll have zera shel kayama. Not only that, he should say it twice a day. He guarantee him that he'll have kids. So what does it mean? According to Rabbi Moshe Steinbuch, saying פיטום הקטורת, by the way, Rabbi Moshe Steinbuch is still alive. It's not that you say it was a long time ago. In his book, he's writing it. That's a guarantee to those that can't have kids. Saying פיטום הקטורת in Kavana, with a nigun, with Ktav Ashuri, it's a guarantee to have kids. How many women want kids? How many husband and wife that can't have? Here's the remedy. Rabbi Alexander Ziskin. Rabbi Alexander Ziskin, born around 280 years ago in Belarus. And he wrote the famous book, Yesod V'Shoresh HaAvodah. In chapter 5, Halacha 9, listen what he says. That Amirat HaKetoret, when we say the Ketoret, we bringing the Geula closer. That means that we bringing the redemption closer. The Midrash Tanhuma, Rabbi Tanhuma, he was a sage, he wrote a Midrash, in Parashat Tetzaveh, in verse 16, he said like this, She'amirat HaKetoret is exactly like Hakravat HaKetoret. And it's favored in the eyes of the Almighty from all the other spices. That means when we say the Ketoret every morning and every evening just at Minha, just before Ashrei, if you say it, not the Ashkenazim, it's not a custom. Once in the morning we say it, and then you say it, the Sfaradim say it 3 times a day. When did they say it? Let me explain to you. The Sfaradim say it, number 1, when they say all the korbanot, because it's part of the korbanot. Then before Alenu Leshalbeach, they say the spices, and then they say Tanu Rabbanan, and then they say Alenu Leshalbeach. In Minha, before they start Ashrei, they say again פיטום הקטורת. And that's what the Gemara in Masechet Shabbat paskin. So say if you say twice a day, it's like you bring in the korban of the spices. Who doesn't want it? Because that korban do atonement to all your sin. And not only that, that korban is the most favorite from all the korbanot in the eyes of the Almighty. Let's stop here. I'll give you time for all the questions. Now it's time for questions. Yes, Shimon.
To say the name, just to read the name of this spice.
No. You need to read all of it. What I showed you. It's page 35. Page 35. Okay. Page 37. Okay. Until page 38 or 39 in English.
Oh, it's all the spices.
Yeah.
Rabbi,
And that's without the brighter.
I can't understand why our custom is not to follow the same as the...
Wait, I didn't finish. I'll get to it. I'll get. Very good question. Any other question? I'll explain that.
Rabbi, why if you leave of one spice are you subject to death?
Sorry?
Why if you leave of one spice?
In the time of Bet HaMikdash, in the time of Bet HaMikdash, that those 11 spices, each one of them means something. Like the helbena, for example. How you say helbena there in English? What's the helbena?
Galbanum.
Sorry?
Galbanum.
Galbanum.
It's not actually the Latin words up there. I think this is the Latin translation, not
Okay.
the English translation.
I don't know what's the English translation. But the helbena, his smell was so horrible, you couldn't smell it. But when you put it with the other spices, it was a good smell. So if you want to go deep, I don't love to go deep, but you ask, I will help. I will answer. The answer here, there is a secret here behind it. It's to take the Rasha'im, that the smell is bad, and you take the Tzaddikim and you put them together. It's come to tell you that the Tzaddik should help the Rasha. And the same like we say, what do we say in Yom Kippurim? אנחנו מתירים את העבריינים להתפלל, נכון? How do you say it in English? I can't hear. That means that we allow those people, לא עלינו, that sin, we allow them to pray. Why? Because הקדוש ברוך הוא לא חפץ במות הרשע. He doesn't want the Rasha to die. He wants them to live. How do we do that? That when you join the good and the bad. So the 11 spices, some of them smell not good. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, bring him in. He's my child. I want him to daven. I want him to do tshuva. I don't want to punish. For example, analogy for us to understand. It's not for me, it's Hazal explained. A father that crossed with his son because he done naughty thing. Doesn't the father want him to regret what he done and to come back? The father never want to leave his son out. He always want him back. That's HaKadosh Baruch Hu with us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said to us, said the Mefarshim, and the Zohar write it, not me, that those 11 spices come to tell us, part of them you must understand amongst the Jewish people, there is those that sometimes they go off the rail. I want them also. Nachon that they don't smell nice, but if you come back, the smell going to be so good that in Jericho, the goat going to sneeze. A bride that get married in Jerusalem doesn't need to put any more perfume. Why? Because the smell of the spices is so good, it's not necessary for her to put it. You understand why it's so important, the 11 spices, if you miss one? Because each one of those spices, you understand? Because if you look at the spices by himself, what does HaKadosh Baruch Hu care about the spices? He cares about us. That each individual soul among the Jewish people is important to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Do you understand? Now I'm going to go and I want you to understand what's happening with that. It's very important. When should we say the spices? The time of saying the spices is like this. It's only during the day. When it's sunrise to sunset, until sunset. At night, you're not allowed to say the spices. Although, after midnight onwards, you can. On Shabbos, that means Friday night, you can say all night the spices. Nothing wrong with that. Except Motzei Shabbos. For Motzei Shabbos, that's it. You can't say it. So Rabotai, be careful not to say it at night. You can say it any time during the day, and you'll see miracle. But you have to say it with kavana. You have to say it word by word and to understand what you're saying. If you rush through it, you waste. Unfortunately, that's when you get used to it, it's become like you saying Ashrei Shvei Betecha. It's like become a habit. Ashrei Shvei Betecha. It's a problem. So when you say the spices word by word, you don't want to see any more plagues. You don't want any damage. A remedy for wealth, for health. For all the tzoros to disappear, say it. One second. I have a promise answer to our friend Paul, I can't.
Am I your
Paul,
friend?
sir?
Am I your friend?
You're my best friend. I hope that I'm your friend. I hope that I'm your friend. Paul asked, why is it? Paul, you must understand that when our sages wrote the tefillah, there is in heaven, Ari HaKadosh explained that there is 12 pathway to the heaven. You understand? And if you look carefully, the Sfaradim and the Chabad daven Nusach Ha'ari, very similar. That's more like the Kabbalistic. And Ari HaKadosh explained there that there is 12, like the 12 Shvatim, 12 tribes. How for the tefillah to penetrate. Nusach Ashkenaz is Nusach Ashkenaz. But I want to tell you, the Rebbe Migur, the Guru Rebbe, after the Holocaust, constitute in his shul, when I say in his shul, in his own Hasidut, that she would say at least twice a day that. Why? Because he said if they would say it in the Holocaust, before the Holocaust, a lot of soul will be saved. So nothing wrong if you say it individually. Yes, Shimon.
Yeah, I was just want to know if you say it, still you have to say it in Hebrew or in any language.
Mainly in Hebrew, to understand.
Only
If you can't, say it in English, but try in Hebrew, because that change all the effect.
She should read it in English in order to understand.
Sorry, I can't hear, Stephen.
She do it in English a while, for a little bit in order to understand.
Absolutely, obviously, but let me explain to you. When you want to reach, to receive the final, you want to achieve. How do you achieve anything? By going through the original. You understand what I'm saying? You can buy a fake Rolex. It will tell you the time. But doesn't mean that you wear the original Rolex watch. You understand? And onwards. You want to do it properly. Do it properly. At the beginning it's going to be difficult, Shimon, but I'm sure the way that you've done the Haftarah, I'm sure that that's nothing for you. So now, Rabota, let me summarize everything. Now that we learn a little bit about the korban of the spices, we see that any witchcrafting that there is in the world, any tzoros, any problem, any plagues, any distress that there is in the world, that the person on, if he say פיטום הקטורת, that's a remedy and a guarantee to be saved. Anytime that you're in danger and you can say פיטום הקטורת, you'll see miracle. People that don't have children, give them that remedy that Rabbi Moshe Steinbuch said. They can have kids. They're not going to battle to have kids. And by Ezrat Hashem,
one more last thing, Rabbi.
one more question. Yes, Shimon.
They are 11 all in all. But during the time when the Kohen Haggadol, the Kohen
You mean at Bet HaMikdash?
Yeah, they were. It's needed to bring them all together in one time, or they were just bring it to one. But
No. You bring them. You mix them together.
together, all 11.
What do you do with them? You mix them together and you put them on a fire.
Okay.
You put them on a hot charcoal, like we mentioned at the beginning of the show. Remember that there is a Kohen that bring the pan with the hot charcoal. And on top of them, you put 11 spices that mix together. And that's where the smell become. Why together? Why together? That, like I explained, you take those that good, and you take those that smell bad, and they become all one good. That means that those that sin and those that not sin from the Jewish people, you bring them one. You create one unity of good. You follow and you put them on a fire.
From Shimon's question, there was one that was mixed, and there was one family for 400 years that knew the mixture exactly.
Oh.
And they used to mix it and bring it to the Kohen.
And that
once a
mixture,
year, in 368.
and they didn't want to reveal that secret. That secret never been revealed because they kept it in a family. And they used to do it, Bet Arkinas. Bet Arkinas is the family of the Arkina. They used to do it and they used to prepare it. And they bring it to the Kohen.
But it was just once a day.
They brought it in once a day.
That's on Yom Kippurim and Kodesh HaKodashim. But they used to prepare before and they used to have it in Bet HaMikdash.
But you can't bring it.
A person, individual person that doing it, today no one know how to do it. People try, they can learn, but it's not so simple. Hayav mita. Not everyone can do it. Because if you miss the amount, I told you the name, but there is amount there. 11 סממנים מיובא ואלוהים הצירי הציפורן החלבונה והלבונה משקל 16 מנה. There is a certain amount of weight that you have to put from each spice. It's not so simple. I didn't want to go through it because that's a different issue. But our friend Gavin spoke about it. Gershon, not Gavin. From now on it's Gershon. Gershon spoke about it and you asked, so I'll explain. Any other question before we say Kaddish?